Become unrecognizable in just 1 week. Let me start by telling you something that might sound strange, even controversial. You don't need months or years to change your life. What you need is a week well spent. The problem is that almost no one truly lives a week. People repeat the same days, with the same habits, the same thoughts, and then wonder why nothing changes. And that's where the limiting belief comes in. That's just how I am. But no, you're like this now. This is very different. Perhaps today you look in the mirror and don't recognize yourself. Tiredness on your face, a heavy mind, a strange feeling of surviving instead of living. And let me challenge you. What if this version isn't who you are, but only who you've become accustomed to being? Because here's the paradox. The greatest transformation doesn't begin when everything gets better. It begins when tired of accepting less than you know you can be. It's not motivation. It's a decision. What you're about to see, here isn't a magic formula or an empty promise. It's a simple yet profound path. Things that seem obvious, but that almost no one does consistently. And that's precisely why they work. In 7 days, you won't just change habits. You'll change your posture, energy, and clarity. People will notice. And most importantly, you will realize yourself again. Now stay with me, because what starts simple ends powerful. Day 1. The deep clean. You don't begin this transformation with motivation because, let's be honest, motivation fails. You begin with a decision. And here's something almost no one tells you. The state of your environment is constantly communicating with your mind. When you live in chaos, your subconscious understands that your life is also out of control. So today, on day 1, you're not going to tidy up. You're going to clean as if your next version depended on it. Because it does. You wake up early, even without wanting to. Before picking up your phone, you drink water, slow down, and take a mindful shower. While the water runs, you speak aloud. Yes, aloud. Because words have power over the mind. I'm washing away the weariness. I'm leaving the old version of myself behind. It seems simple, but that's autosuggestion in action. Your brain listens, registers, and begins to align itself. Then comes the painful part. The room, the closet, the drawers. You look at each item and ask yourself, does this align with who I'm becoming? Otherwise, leave. And here's something curious. The more you remove things from the outside, the lighter you feel inside. It's not about cleaning, it's about identity. Each discarded object is a break with the past that kept you stuck. You eat lighter, sleep earlier, let the environment breathe. And when you lie down in a clean bed, in silence, something changes. You feel in control again. But little do you know that tomorrow the challenge won't be external. Tomorrow you'll have to silence the loudest noise in your life, your own mind. Day 2. The inner silence. Now let me warn you, day 2 is usually scarier than day 1. Because today you're not going to organize things. You're going to face the noise inside you. You disconnect from social media for 24 hours, not just reducing it, but completely switching off. Instagram, TikTok, everything's off. At first you get a strange itch, like something's missing. And it is. What's missing is the noise that distracted you from thinking, feeling, and listening to yourself. With this forced silence, time emerges. A lot of time. And then you realize something uncomfortable. You've been using your cell phone as emotional anesthesia. So you grab paper and pen, not screen, paper, and start writing without a filter. Who are you when no one is watching? What do you really want? What has been sabotaging you for years? You write everything down. Anger, fear, forgotten dreams. This isn't drama, it's mental cleansing. It's here that you begin to reconnect with parts of yourself that were buried under information overload. Then you do something simple and powerful. Sit in silence for a few minutes. No music, no stimulation, just you and your thoughts. At first, your mind screams, but soon it surrenders. And when that silence arrives, answers emerge that never appear amidst the rush. But pay attention. Tomorrow, this process will leave your mind and descend to something you've been ignoring for too long. Your body. Day 3. The body. Reconnection and respect. Today, you'll understand something almost no one realizes. Your body isn't just a vehicle, it's a messenger. It holds tensions you've never resolved, tiredness you've normalized, emotions you've swallowed. So day 3 isn't about becoming an athlete. It's about reconnecting with feeling. You move intentionally. A mindful walk, stretching, dancing in the living room, anything that makes you aware of where you're stiff, where it hurts, where there's still strength. While you move, you give thanks. It seems simple, but gratitude restores presence. After the exercise, you eat as if respecting your own temple. No eating standing up in a hurry. You choose real food, fruit, protein, something colorful, and eat slowly without your cell phone. You notice the flavor, the texture, the satiety. This gesture says something powerful to your subconscious. I care about myself. And when the mind receives this message, it begins to cooperate. Small, repeated choices create a new energy pattern, and you start to feel different inside. In the yosa afternoon, you take care of your appearance without guilt. You get a haircut, take care of your skin, fix what was neglected. It's not vanity, it's self-respect. When you look in the mirror and see yourself cared for, your posture changes, your voice changes, your presence changes. People can't explain it, but they feel it. And this prepares you for the next step, because tomorrow you're going to work on the root of everything. The place where decisions are born. Your mind. Day 4. The mind. Reprogramming. Today you're going to work on the control center of your life, because you can clean the house, take care of your body, be quiet. But if your mind keeps running the same patterns, you'll end up back in the same place. And let me tell you something straight. That voice inside your head isn't you. It's conditioning. Phrases like, I'm not good enough. This is not for me. I always mess everything up. They were learned, repeated, and accepted. And everything that has been learned can be reprogrammed. Throughout the day, you begin to observe your thoughts like someone observing traffic. Whenever a negative thought arises, you stop and ask yourself, is this true or is it just a habit? Most of the time you'll realize that this idea came from someone in your past, not from reality. So you consciously replace it. Where it used to come from, I am unable, you put, I am learning. Where did it come from? I am weak, enter. I've overcome difficult things before. It may seem small, but this is daily mental training. And you nourish your mind with intention. No consuming just anything. You choose uplifting content, a chapter from a good book, an inspiring message, something that reminds you of your worth. At night, you create simple, truthful affirmations and read them while looking into your own eyes in the mirror. This moment is uncomfortable at first, but powerful. Because tomorrow, when you look at the people around you, you'll realize that it's not just you who influences the environment. The environment also influences you, and that will be the next necessary cut. Day 5. Relationships. Courting and cultivation. Today you're going to face a painful but liberating truth. Nobody thrives surrounded by people who drag them down. You are deeply influenced by the people you spend time with, even when you think you aren't. Repeated conversations shape thoughts, and thoughts shape decisions. So day 5 isn't about fighting with anyone. It's about choosing better who has access to your energy. You take a pen and paper and start listing, honestly. You can separate them into three groups: people who uplift you, who support you, who make you feel better after a conversation; neutral people who neither add nor drain you; and people who wear you down, criticize you, make you doubt yourself. Just writing this makes something clearer. You realize that part of your exhaustion doesn't come from life. It comes from those who are always around. And that understanding changes everything. Today you take practical steps. You reach out to those who strengthen you. You thank them. You schedule a meeting. You send a sincere message. With those who drain you, you begin to set boundaries. Fewer explanations, less availability, more silence. It's not coldness, it's maturity. And if there's any pending conversation, an apology, something unresolved, you resolve it today. Because resentment weighs you down, binds you, and ages you. And tomorrow you'll realize there's another area of your life that also requires courage to face: money and the control it exerts over you. Day 6. Abundance. Facing money. Today you're going to do something many people avoid for years. Look at your own financial life without running away. No quickly closing the bank app or pretending you didn't see the bill. Day 6 is about taking control. Because as long as you don't look, money controls you. The moment you face the numbers, even if they aren't pretty, something changes inside. You stop being a hostage and start being responsible. You sit down, grab a pen and paper, and do a simple audit. How much comes in, how much goes out, where it all goes. You notice expenses that have become habits, not necessities. Forgotten subscriptions, impulsive purchases, small leaks that, added together, drain your peace of mind. It's not about guilt, it's about clarity. Clarity generates power. And with power, you create a realistic plan. Cut excesses, organize debts, save even if it's just a little each month. A little is better than nothing. And today there's an important symbolic gesture. You give yourself a gift. Something simple, conscious, that brings joy. A book, a plant, a special coffee. This teaches your subconscious something profound. Money isn't just about survival. It's also about care. When you learn to treat the little you have well, you prepare yourself for the much more. Tomorrow, after facing all this, comes the most powerful moment of the week, the day you realize who you've become. Day 7. The rebirth. Consolidation of the new version. Today you wake up feeling different. Not because all your problems have disappeared, but because you changed in just a few days. You did what most people spend years putting off. You cleared your environment, quieted your mind, honored your body, reprogrammed your thoughts, reorganized your relationships, and faced your money. All of this is starting to come together now. Day 7 isn't about putting in more effort. It's about to realize who you've become. You take a few minutes in silence and ask yourself simple yet powerful questions. Who was I before this week? Who am I now? What has changed in me? And you realize that something that was extinguished has returned. Presence, clarity, strength. So you dress better than usual, not to impress anyone, but to symbolically mark this rebirth. Your body understands symbols. Your mind does too. When you leave the house, something curious happens. People treat you differently. They can't explain it, but they feel it. Your posture has changed, your gaze is firmer, your energy is clearer. This isn't mystical, it's inner coherence. When what you think, feel, and do begins to align, the world responds. At night, you write a letter to yourself, recording this moment, the commitments you've decided to make, and the person you've chosen to become. Because this letter will be a reminder when routine tries to pull you back. And now that you've felt this power, the silent question remains. What happens if you continue? Now let me ask you some direct questions, the kind that don't require a quick answer, but honesty. Of everything you've heard, what are you actually going to apply? Which of these days challenged you the most? Was it the cleaning, the silence, the relationships, the finances? Because transformation doesn't happen when we agree. It happens when we age, even if it's uncomfortable. Knowing doesn't change anything. Doing changes everything. You realize that nothing here was extraordinary, and at the same time, almost no one lives like this. The difference between remaining stuck in the same version of yourself or becoming unrecognizable isn't about talent, luck, or circumstance. It's about the daily decision to honor who you can become. And now the choice is in your hands. Do you go back to the routine on autopilot, or do you use this week as a milestone, a turning point? So I challenge you. What is the journey? What will you start tomorrow? What will you do differently, in a practical, real way, without waiting for the perfect moment? Write it in the comments. Publicly committing creates a commitment. And if this video awakened you, provoked you, or reminded you of the strength you have, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Here you won't find easy shortcuts, but real paths to live with more clarity, discipline, and purpose. Because the person you want to be isn't in the distant future. It begins with the next decision you make. And that decision could be right now. See you in the next video, and I hope to find an even stronger version of you.